we were an early adopter of the SBTI guidelines. Our climate change program itself goes back more than 10 years. However, what we found over the years is that it is an evolving discipline in terms of translating overarching climate change goals into industry level and company level targets. There are sectoral variations. There are variations dependent on the trajectory, the time horizon that you're looking at. And therefore, something that is consistent as a reference template is indeed very useful. And now, when more and more companies have committed to their net zero goals, and as we speak, many more companies are doing so, I think it's even more important for us to have a consistent referenceable standard that allows companies to set goals in a manner that gives them the assurance that this is something that is science based, and there is a great deal of thought that has gone into it, right? And therefore, when we set our goals, it is not that we will not be able to change it in future or tweak it, but we are working on a template that is consistent across sectors in many ways, and that brings out a certain level of rigor in goal setting. At an overarching level, net zero is important because we always had this position that corporations cannot exist in isolation of society. It is not enough for corporations to create jobs and pay taxes. Those are two important roles that corporations will always play. But in the last 20, 25 years, things have changed. I think corporations have increasingly started seeing themselves as trustees of planetary wealth and societal well-being. Of course, in a manner that is aligned with their core purpose, with their core business purpose, right? So if you're calling yourself a responsible organization in every sense, then you must do those things that are aligned with larger imperatives for society and for the planet. And of course, climate change as a global crisis is one such imperative, which we cannot but engage with, right? So again, it is in line with that a commitment like net zero is not anymore something that can be said to be voluntary. It is an imperative in many senses if you're calling yourself a responsible organization. Principally, I think climate science is a complex area, and when we see the IPCC reports, it is the work of several hundreds of scientists, and it is written in language that is perhaps not easily accessible or understood by most common people. So when industry and businesses like us try to align our climate change goals with what climate science is telling, what IPCC is telling, we struggle. But it's critical that our goals, our actions are rooted in that science. And therefore, the role of SBTI, a very important role, has been to translate the complexity of climate science into something that companies can adopt readily. It is for that reason I think SBTI's standards are going to play a very significant role for industry and for business.